Welcome to my channel. I'm the Dark Lord of Optics, and what I bring you here is a thinking man's take on guns and optics with occasional forays into politics.
Alright folks,
Thank
let's
you for
get the
being
show
here.
on the road. This is probably going to be the fastest review I've ever done because I'm going to talk about the simple red dot sight, excuse me. We all know what they are, I don't need to give you the background, and I have nothing better to say about this thing. I have a couple of complaints / comments, but they are firmly in the realm of personal preference. The red dot sight I'm going to talk about is the SwampFox Sentinel red dot sight. It's mounted here on a Saber prismatic, and the Sentinel red dot sight is available with two different versions. One is manual adjust, another one is auto adjust. This particular one is a manual adjust version. It is equipped with a steel shield that SwampFox makes. That's called the Ironside. Okay. I had it a little bit on the handgun, then I put it on this thing. It's probably gonna go on a different rifle. The way I use compact red dot sights for handguns, I prefer the always on versions that adjust to the ambient light. This one is manual adjust, and as such for me it is a better fit on a rifle. Although in terms of the actual optical performance and the dot visibility and all that, there was nothing wrong with it on a handgun. It is just my personal preference. I'm gonna take it off of this guy and put it on something else because I want to do experimentation with different angles. But in this configuration, it has worked really admirably. It never shifted zero. The dot never died on me. I don't know how long the battery lasts because I had it for a few months. I forgot to turn it off and it never gave me any issues. The sight does have the shake awake function, so if you set it still and it's not moving for a little while, it just goes to sleep. That really helps with battery life. But I'll keep running with a original battery and eventually I'll let you know when it dies. So far it's soldering on just fine. It is robust. How robust? I don't know. I don't have to break anything, but I have, shot a lot with it, and I've used it even to lean against barricades or vertical poles like the poles you see here behind me. Basically, if I need to make a shot and brace it a little bit, I would brace it against this like this, and zero didn't shift. Nothing happened. Now I didn't ram into it. I didn't try to break it. I just leaned at it a little bit to give myself a slight touch of extra stability, and it didn't give me any issues whatsoever. As far as complaints go, truthfully, I only have one. It comes with a 3 MOA dot. And for me, for my personal use, I have sort of converged that on small red dot sights, I really like larger dots. There's several reasons for it. One, and probably the biggest, is that as I get older, I have a little bit of astigmatism, not too much, and the dot does not look perfectly round to me. Now, as far as miniature red dot sights go, in terms of dot roundness, this is better than most. It's not bad at all, but it is still not ideal. Larger dots can be run less bright, and they generally look sharper to my eye. On the other hand, shooting offhand, typically within 50 yards or so, I have not shot with it past 100, and 95% of my shooting with it was from 5 to 50 yards. The dot is not perfectly round, but perfectly reasonable. I didn't miss anything that could have been attributed to the dot. Usually when I miss something, it's my fault, not the equipment's. Still, for me, a larger dot, both on handguns as an auxiliary on rifles, works a little bit better. And this one is, I think, only available with a 3 MOA dot. But once again, that is a personal preference. The market trend, people tend to like smaller dots. I think they're wrong, but it is what it is. Aside from that, I got nothing bad to say. It sighted in, it never broke, it was not treated nicely, and it kept on soldering on. It's $250. The Ironsides, the iron protective cover, is another, I think, $30 or $40. So with tax and shipping, under $300, you have a nice compact red dot sight. It fits an RMSc footprint. It's fairly narrow, so without the Ironside shield, it will work nicely on fairly narrow slide guns, like the narrow slide Glocks. The Ironside makes it very slightly wider, but not too much. It will work on more or less any carry handgun, and for my application it is probably, because of the manual adjusted smallish dot, it is probably at its best as an auxiliary sight on a rifle. It's an easy recommendation for me. I know quite a few people who have them. The overall feedback from them has been good. The sight has been working well, so I fully anticipate to continue keeping track on it. But it's a nice little red dot, and it goes on my list of recommendations. Parallax performance on the dot seems to be pretty good. I looked at it carefully out at 50 yards. There is some parallax. The window's shaped like this. When you go into lower left and lower right corner of the dot, gets very close to the edge. There is some parallax at 50 yards. It probably moved about 4 inches. But the sweet spot where there is this almost no perceivable parallax, at least none that I could easily see, is quite large. I would say that until you are really, really close to the edges, the dot at 50 yards doesn't really shift. According to SwampFox specifications, it's supposed to parallax 3 at 33 yards. I did it at 50, where it's supposed to have some parallax. I didn't check it at 33. But as far as I'm concerned, it's fine, because let's be reasonable. If I'm shooting at, if I need to go really, really fast where the dot may be in some weird ass part of the window, the target's going to be pretty fast, and there's not enough parallax to screw anything up. If I have a chance to slow down for a more accurate shot, or shoot a bit further out, I'm going to keep the dot somewhere in the center, 60-70% of the window, where I don't see parallax. Okay, 7 minutes. The shortest review I've ever done. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening. If you have any questions.